An extraordinary turn of events. At the White House today, the First Lady Melania Trump forcing President Trump to fire a top aide on his national security team. And it all happened very quickly. Early this afternoon, the president took part in an event celebrating Diwali. It's a major cultural and religious festival observed by many Indians and Southeast Asians. Well, just over the president's shoulder was, there it is right there. There she is highlighted, Mira Ricardel, a deputy national security advisor. And just a short time later, the First Lady's office released this stunning statement of rebuke. It is a position of the office of the First Lady that Ricardel no longer deserves the honor of serving in this White House. Well, tonight, aides to the president confirmed to CNN that Mira Ricardel will be fired. And it turns out that Ricardel feuded with the First Lady, her staff, over Mrs. Trump's recent trip to Africa. One White House official accuses her of then leaking stories about it. During her first trip, the First Lady said the following about her influence on her husband, and maybe she was telling us more about her role in this White House than we realized at the time. Here it is.
Sources have told us, sources in the White House, that you are the gatekeeper, that you tell him who he can trust and who he can't trust. Is that true?
Yes, I give him my honest advice.
He's been in office now almost 2 years. Has he had people that you didn't trust working for him?
Yes.
Did you let him know?
I let him know.
And what did he do?
Well, some people, they don't work there anymore.
Well, the firing of Mira Ricardel is likely the first of many to come, and it could be an indicator of chaos inside the Trump White House right now. President Trump is said to be ready to show the door to Kirstjen Nielsen, his Secretary of Homeland Security. Aides are saying that he is frustrated with her handling of his two major issues, immigration and border security, though he wouldn't answer questions about her today.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, do you plan to replace DHS Secretary Nielsen, sir?
Secretary Nielsen?
Are you planning to make a staff change at that level?
And of course, there's long been speculation that Chief of Staff John Kelly's days are numbered in the administration, although the president would only say this when asked about it last week.
I haven't heard about John Kelly, but no, people leave. I'll tell you, there will be changes, nothing monumental from that standpoint. I don't think very much different than most administrations, and we have many people lined up for every single position. Any position, everybody wants to work in this White House. We are a hot country. This is a hot White House. We are a White House that people want to work with.
A hot White House. It's a hot White House, all right, but for a host of different reasons. And people may not want to work there because of what's likely to be coming down the pike. The LA Times is reporting tonight that it's sinking in for this president that he took a drubbing in the midterm elections, and now he is becoming bitter and resentful. Democrats will soon take control of the House, and they're likely to use their subpoena power to investigate the Trump administration and go after the president's tax returns. The Mueller investigation? Well, it's in the spotlight once again. More indictments may be coming. And the president has met with his lawyers to go over a series of responses to written questions submitted by Mueller's team. Those answers could be submitted as early as this week. And the president's barely been seen since returning from his weekend trip to France. Did you notice that? And he barely showed up to official events there while he was there. But as usual, he is tweeting. Today taking jabs at French President Emmanuel Macron, who on Sunday denounced nationalism, which Trump promotes. He said it was a betrayal of patriotism, Macron did. Trump tweeted, the problem is that Emmanuel suffers from a very low approval rating in France, 26%, and an unemployment rate of almost 10%. He was just trying to get onto another subject. By the way, there is no country that is more nationalist than France. Very proud people, and rightfully so. Make France great again. Didn't mention his own approval numbers, did he? President also letting off steam over the criticism he is getting for canceling his visit to an American military cemetery just outside of Paris on Saturday. Aides blamed it on bad weather grounding his helicopter. But the Chief of Staff, John Kelly, and General Joseph Dunford, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, they were able to get there. So today the President tweeted, "By the way, when the helicopter couldn't fly to the first cemetery in France because of almost zero visibility, I suggested driving. Secret Service said, no, too far from airport and big Paris shutdown. Speech next day at American Cemetery in pouring rain. Little reported. Fake news." Okay. So let's take a look at President Trump's claim there, okay? We know he isn't exactly shy about making things happen the way he wants them to. And when he wants to go somewhere, he gets there. Here's an example. Back in June, he made sure he traveled in bad weather to a political rally in South Carolina. He was campaigning for Republican Governor Henry McMaster. And he made sure the friendly crowd in Trump country knew he'd stop at nothing to get there.
It was a little rocky up in the sky tonight, I have to be honest. They said, "Sir, would you mind going back? Would you mind if we didn't stop?" I said, "There's no way we cannot stop," right? Oh, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that for a man named Henry McMaster. We're not going to do that. I wouldn't have the courage to call Henry. Henry, you know, I said I was coming, but I'm only kidding. It's raining out real bad. And we're not showing up. I wouldn't do it for you.
I wouldn't do it to you. Friendly crowd at a rally. For me. But what about the fallen? That was then. This is now. There is also a new headache for the White House tonight because CNN is suing President Trump and his top aides for barring our chief White House correspondent, Jim Acosta, from doing his job at the White House. Officials pulled Acosta's press pass last week after President Trump's post-midterm news conference. Originally, the press secretary, Sarah Sanders, accused Acosta of placing his hands on a female White House intern. She has since backed off that accusation, now saying that Acosta refused to surrender the microphone after asking his questions. By denying Jim Acosta access to the White House, CNN calls it a violation of the right to a free press. Ted Olson, you might remember him. He's a lawyer. He's retained by CNN. In 2000, he represented George W. Bush before the Supreme Court in Bush versus Gore, the landmark case that resulted in Bush winning the White House. Here's what he says about CNN's lawsuit.
The First Amendment is absolutely necessary. It is the public's window into what public officials are doing. Journalists cannot be silenced, censored, or intimidated, and that's the end of the line. The White House cannot get away with this.
A judge has scheduled a hearing for tomorrow afternoon. CNN is calling for Acosta's press credentials to be restored immediately.